Mm. Today, maybe I was thinking, since Angelo brought this forward about meter and how to read the text, because there are always disputes around it. Maybe we will look into this, what is meter and what is accent, and how these two coincide and should be read, yes? And what actually tradition, Indian tradition missed over time of this recording. They recorded the text with a Vedic accent, not to lose udatta, yes? But by that, they missed the meter. And though they are praising all the time chandas as the power of Shiva, which manifests, and Sri Aurobindo speaks about chandas, and there is the whole Vedanga, chandas Vedanga, with all possible counting of the syllables and heavy and light syllables and so on, and they are all named, and all the varieties of exceptions are named. The meter was lost. And when I was talking about this in one of the conferences, they were angry with me. People, those, Brahmins, what are you saying? We have Chandas, Vedanga, and so on. But they really lost the meter, because the meter has, cadenza, caesura, there is opening, there is closing, and all that is ignored in the tradition. There is no opening and closing. I was even giving this example of taking, the Gita, the first shloka, dharma kshetre, kurukshetre, because there is opening and closing. So look at this beautiful dharma kshetre opening, kurukshetre closing. So dharma kshetra is a claim. Dharma kshetra, in the field of dharma. And the answer, the echo, kurukshetra, in the field of kuru. And then dharma kshetra, kurukshetra, samaveta, came together, opening. Yutsavach, those who want to fight. So if you combine this opening and closing, you will see the poet's mind, yes? It's very subtle. So the opening is in Dharma. In the field of Dharma, they came together. But in the field of Kuru, they want to fight. Just look at this intuitive, very simple device, which is used as chandas. When I said this in the conference, they were furious. They didn't want to listen to me anymore. But I'm telling that chandas suggests another layer of meaning, always, which we ignore. So we have to come to chandas. So first of all, of course, what they started to read udatta as a major thing is a big shift, because they don't treat anudatta and svarita, basically. Unless it is independent svarita, then it is treated as udatta. So what is this svarita, anudatta, udatta? Udatta is morphological accent in the word, yes? It must be there. Udatta is the king, as Chandas would say. It is Svarita and Anudatta appointing to the king, where the king is. So what is this king about, Udatta? Every language has words which bear accent. If I will shift my accent, suppose I will shift my accent in English, now speaking to you, you would not understand a word, because because you would be gathering in the flow of speech different modalities, different words. You would not recognize the words. So to recognize the words in the flow of speech, we need the accent. Yeah? Each word bears one particular accent, or sometimes two when they are composed, like brihaspati. Yes, there are two accents in the word. Or satisfaction, in the way, some kind of. If I say satisfaction, then you would not even recognize the word. Sometimes Frenchies are doing this. They're very difficult to hear what they want to say. So this is first. Udatta is the most important thing, to hear the word. Second is chandas. Chandas is a meter. It's a particular rhythm which is not coinciding with the the accent in the words. And here we have the varieties. So chhandas can be tata, 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 dharma, kshetre, kuru, kshetre, samaveta, yuyut, savach, ayambik meter. 8-syllabic pada. But the accent will be different. It will fall not ta, but ta, to, ta, to, ta, to, ta. So, and that because of that variety of accent and meter, we have a very particular form of poetry. Is it clear now? Yeah? What we have? We have a problem to match meter with the accent of the words in the meter.
Yeah, just one thing on the accent is because like in English we have a stress accent, so
Mm.
apparently they say that the Vedic accent was pitch
Right,
rather
absolutely.
than stress.
Absolutely. Yes, English, you see, you hear how I speak English. I am making pitch, which English do not do. Yeah, not always. If you look into these people who are presenting on TV or in the airports, now, please fill down. Why they do this? Because from far away you will not recognize the words. Yeah? Um, so the speech is always changing, and by that accent is cognized, the words are cognized. But if you, yes, take ordinary language, even French, if you take, it's incredible how they miss the pitch. Then you can't hear the words, everything is clubbed together into one, and somehow they manage. Mm, but Russians or Slavic languages, Ukrainian, we are very pitch oriented. Yeah, this is true. There are two. And by the way, what you said, it is an old linguistic tradition. Now they are not sure about this, how to distinguish between these two. They are just saying that it is not totally true. It's kind of in between. Nobody knows for sure what is the speech and stress. But anyhow, it's very interesting idea. Vedic is pitch. So when they examined there was the whole survey of the accent in the Indo-European languages in Europe, and they noticed that, you see what I do, they noticed that, that the pitch is 5 levels high, like do, re, mi, fa, sol, do, sol. So children speak with this fifth. In the fifth is the pitch. Pitch. And so when Panini says udatta, uchai hudatta, udatta is the highest, there is sutra of this. Nichai hanudatta, anudatta is the lowest, and samahara svarita. What svarita is the post pitch accent. So if I raise my voice very high, then to lower the pitch is very difficult. So because my vocal cords are already contracted, so what happens that the post pitch, the next syllable will fall slowly down. Samahara, it's combined. Svarita is combined from 1/3 high pitch, 2/3 low pitch. So it will be falling pitch. Same like satisfaction. This kshon will be falling because fa, and then I cannot go kshon, faction. Yeah, it's impossible for the vocal cords. So there will be a fall. So satisfaction. That is svarita. But in recording the words, recording the text, they wanted to highlight svarita very importantly to point where the udatta is previous. So they did this, that svarita became even higher than udatta. It's a recorded thing, like Agnimile. This is svarita, yes? Actually, it's Agnimile. Im ile. Ile is unaccented. Agnimile. But what happened in the recording, Agni Mihile, so this Ihile Svarita points that previous is Udatta. So they are not reading the text, they are recording the text. This is a recording session. All this Vedic accent is not read in the yagyas. You know that in the yagas, in the ceremonies, they do not read with this accent. You will be surprised. They read Eka Shruti. And the Brahmin told me, oh, now I understand why Eka Shruti is read and not this. Because the Vedic accent is a recorder of Udatta. Why Udatta had to be recorded? Because meter interferes. So you cannot reconcile between the two. You need some device, or you have to read properly the text, which is very difficult. And I want to show you how difficult it is to read properly the text, to reconcile between the two, the meter and the accent. Okay, that's the introduction to the meter and the accent. If you have any questions to clarify, please do. I hope it's not too much. I think those of you who thought about it, for them it is it's a food for thought. But
Yeah, I think it's very interesting. You already talked about this, about Agni saying that if you respect Gayatri, Chanda, it would be Agni Mile Purohite. No, sorry, Agni Mile Purohitam. So 8, respecting the meter. But if you take in consideration the
accent?
the accents, Agnimi, Ide, Purohite, it would be 9, I think.
Oh, well,
So
not even 9.
Agnimi, Ide.
Yes, yes. In that they even extend Svarita, they make it double because
Yeah,
there is a reason for that, because there is no difference between Svarita short and long syllables. So now to distinguish between short and long syllables Svarita, they make double Svarita for long and normal Svarita for short. This is amazing because this is a recorded session, yes. Somewhere I have the whole presentation on the meter. In general, on the accent, sorry. On the meter, I never spoke. But since Angelo brought this forward, I thought maybe we should speak on the meter also, what it is. I will send you the whole page. I have the whole write-up for all the meters in the Veda with the, with lineup, where you will see and understand immediately what it is, and see how difficult it is to read properly. Okay, I'm projecting this text, what you sent, so I just put it in yesterday night. I came home and I was so tempted to look into it that didn't want even to leave it. So this is the text of 585, hymn which I actually worked with also, to Varuna. And here in the first Trishtup, what is Trishtup? Trishtup is or maybe I will show you first what major meters we have in the Veda before we come to Trishtup, okay? Just very brief. Let me do it. Somewhere I have it. Oh, here it is. This one file I will send you, so you examine, and if you have any questions, we can discuss it, because this is really worth discussing. So here we are. So major forms of meters in the Veda are these 3, 8, 11, and 12 syllabic pada. What is pada? Is a stanza, basically, one line. Yeah. So 8 syllabic is, as we know, as Gayatri, 3888, yes. Agni Mile Purohitam, Yajnasya Devam Ritvijam, Hotaram Ratnadhatamam. 3 8-syllabic padas. When we add one more, it becomes Anushtup. Yeah. And you see here I give it. It becomes Anushtup. Then if you give one more, 5 of these lines, padas, becomes Pankti, Mahapankti, Shakvari, and so on. But again, 8-syllabic pada only, iambic. Yeah? Ta 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 ta. 3 times Gayatri, 4 times Anushtup, 5 times Pankti, 6 times Mahapankti, and so on. Shakvari, and so on. And the other type is 11 and 12 syllabic pada. 11 is unique, and that is Trishtup, by which this verse is written or composed to Varuna. Hymn to Varuna is made in Trishtup, and Trishtup is very popular. Here I'm kind of mentioning this. 11 syllables pada, combined in tetrameter, is called Trishtup. So there are 3 parts. That's why Trishtup, yeah? 3 stubhas, 3 parts within this meter, and they have to be distinguished, and that creates chandas. And there is 2/5 of all the hymns in the Rigveda are in Trishtup, very popular meter. 2/5 is a lot. So here I give 2. Something happened here. Why this R jumped in? Maybe I typed by mistake, or I just jumped in. Oops, spoiled. Okay, so we will look into it. There are 2 types. Oh, I just did something messed up. Sorry. Oh, here it is coming back. So there are 2 types of Trishtup. There is always cadenza, and there is always the cesura. Cesura is the pause. There has to be a pause. Yeah? Yahva Yiva, pause. Pravayam Ujjihanach, closing. So there are 3, you see, portions. Yahva Yiva, Pravayam, Ujjihana. And then, or another type, where it is not first 4 before pause, but 5 syllables. Abodhi hota yajathaya devan. Now look at this very interesting thing. It's not purely iambic. Iambic is only first half, and the cadenza, the closing part, is trochaic mainly. So we have Yahva, Iva, Pravayam, Ujjihana. So Ujjihana, this is trochaic, yeah, ending. And that creates that specific rhythm beauty of Trishtup. Yeah? Iambic opening mainly, and trochaic closing. Now, nobody speaks about this in Chandas. Nobody even examines these 3 parts. Why it is Trishtup? Even no explanation in it for it. So here it is. I will stop here with the general introduction. Jagati is iambic, and it is 12 syllabic, very easy to read. Tuvam, Agne, Atit, Himpur, Viyam, Vishach. Instead of 8, you have 12. Pratham, Pratnasa, Uta, Ye, Sahaskrita. There is no trochaic ending. Now look at the varieties of meters in the Veda. All of them, 8, 8, 12, 12, 8, 8, 8, 12, 8, 8, 8, 12, 8, 12, 8, 12, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 12, 8, and so on. Where do you see? You don't see any other pada. Only 12 and 8, 12 and 8, different combinations. This is the major bulk of all the. There are no other verses. There is only one more, which is very rare, 5-syllabic pada, trochaic, mainly, or iambic. Totato, to tato, tato. Pashvanatayum, guhacha tantam. Mainly Parashara Shaktya, his hymns to Agni are in this Dvipada Virat. This Dvipada Virat is this 5-syllabic, very rare. Totata tata, totata tata, Pashvana tayum, guhacha tantam, namo yujantam, namo vahantam. The rhythm, but very rare, hardly anything. So Here we have 8, 11, and 12. 8 and 12, all possible combinations make us the whole variety of hymns. Okay, with this I will stop a general introduction and look into that hymn with you.
Can I ask one question?
Yes.
I think this Caesura was clear that it's after the fourth or the fifth. But what's the cadenza part and the Trishtu?
Yes, cadenza is always cadenza, the top, yes, like you make you climb to the top and then boom. Yeah? So there is a climax in them.
Okay.
Caesura is the stop or kind of pause. These are words used in this poetics, in the prosodics. From Italian. Actually, you are Italian. You should know it somewhere. It's nice name. Totally Italian. But do you know Italian a bit, Angela? No? All right. So let me project this again back to it. So here, in the first, I marked only udattas. So how do we know where udatta is? It's always like pra starts. The first syllable in the verse is, if it is not marked, it is definitely udatta. So udatta is the only syllable which is not marked. All this anudatta and svarita are marking the udatta. They are pointing. So look, some ra, some raje. So we have some is anudatta, telling us that the next is udatta. And J is Svarita, tells us that previous is Udatta. So Udatta is marked by these two. Very interesting way to do it. And I analyzed why actually it is the easiest way to mark Udatta in the flow of speech. If we mark only Udatta, it would be not good because we do not know what happens after post-accent and before. Where is that low pitch? Sometimes there is no low pitch because there is previous udatta again. Udatta, udatta, udatta. So if we mark only udatta, it's not enough. That's what you sent. You sent the text with marking only udatta. But in the text here, we mark only udatta. You see, pra, samraje, brihad, archa. They didn't even mark. Brihadarcha is one word. Brihadarcha, Gabhiram. Yeah. So I analyzed these with according to Trishtup, and here what we can have. The purest, the best of this first verse is this verse. Upastire, notice, upastire prithivim surya. Absolute perfect match. Meter and accent, which is rare. Yeah, that's why I marked it with yellow. Upastire, stire doesn't fit. I'm wrong. Upastire prithivim fits very. Suryaya, also very good. Upastire doesn't fit. So we see for opening, pause, caesura, and then prithivim, the middle part, opening the middle part, and suryaya, cadenza, the top coming down. So you understand how it works, yes? Here is a 5. Viyo jaghana, viyo jaghana, samiteva, charma. Notice that samiteva is splitting word. Samiteva, charma. And because of this, teva, charma, this is trochaic ending. In the middle of the word, it cuts it. And many times it is in the middle of the word, like here also. Brahma priyam, Brahma priyam, Varuna ya. You see? It's Ya already belongs to cadenza. Ya shrutaya, ya shrutaya. So you see the difficulty, yeah? How to reconcile between the two, meter and the accent in the words. And it doesn't fit ever. It's very rare that it will fit properly. And because of that, they needed Vedic accent. Because nobody is such a master to read it properly as rishis were invoking, yes, that poetry. So here it is. Okay, I stop here. And if any remarks or questions, please. If not, we just go into our new hymn.
That's good. Thank you.
I will send you these files. I have the whole layout for them and with all the names. And so you, for those who are interested, please just have a look. And if we have something to discuss, it would be wonderful because it's always some discovery. It's never, you never know enough on this. Yes. You know the structure, but then there will be surprises. They're such as like sandhis, some prasaranas have to be done differently. It is not enough. You have to undo them, yeah, because otherwise you will never be able to understand the meter. It interferes with the meter. Like here we have somewhere here. Let me again do this. I didn't mention sandhis until now, but now I will show you. For example, here, Vaneshu V. This is Vaneshu 3, and we need either 4 or 5 syllables for the opening, yes, in Trishtup. So what happens here? Vaneshu V, and then Antariksham Totana. So V belongs to the opening and not Vyantariksham. It has to be deconstructed. Otherwise, we lose the meter. Vaneshu vi antariksham tatana. Now you feel the rhythm. Yeah? And if you do Vanesh vyantariksham tatana, there is no rhythm. There is no chandas. So this has to be also paid attention to. Okay, now I stop. All right, we have this new hymn, again, Praskan Bakanova. Anushtup, easy for us. 8-syllabic iambic meter. By the way, Shubin also in Savitri writes with pentameter. I guess also iambic. Yeah, it was the hour before the gods awake. Ta 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 ta. Five steps, or what do you call them? Pada. No, they are not padas. They are
Feet.
feet. Yes, they're feet steps. Well, pada is the foot actually, but it's from Sanskrit terminology to English and to Italian is there's some small differences. Yeah. Okay, let's look into this hymn. Usho bhadrebhih. Notice immediately breaking the meter because should be Usho bhadrebhih agahi. But Usho bhadrebhih. Usha is U is the strong one, accented, but in iambic meter it should be weak. Usho bhadrebhih agahi divaschitro chanadadhi. But here, with this interference of the accent, the tapestry, the beauty of the poetry changes. Usho bhadrebhih agahi divaschit rochanad adhi. Also breaking here. Should be adhi, but it is adhi. Vahantu arunapsavach. Vahantu arunapsavach. Upa tva. Somina Sominach griham. I'm just trying to deconstruct the back accent with meter. Quite a feast. So, Usha, O dawn, come with your blessings. Usha, Bhadrebhich Agahi, come from the beyond of the shining heavens. Divashtit Rochanadadihi, or from the above the shining heavens. May the red horses, those whose bodies are red, literally, Arunapsavach. Psu means form of body, or with red bodies. Vahantu, may they carry you, upatva, carry you to the house of man who has soma. Sominach greham, to the house of Somin, who has something to offer, who offer his bliss of his birth and experiences to you. Supesha
Can
sounds.
I
Yes,
can I ask about that Psu? Psu? I never saw that. Psu.
yes. Well, somewhere I didn't put this. Yes, somewhere it is even. Let me check for the dictionary. I remember like this. Psu. I do not know what it is, truly speaking.
I guess there's in Monier Williams, he has Psu, probably Bisu from Bahasu, Bahas,
Probably, yeah, that's
aspect, appearance, form, shape.
right. Right.
I don't know. It was maybe, I guess, from Baha, I guess, or
Can't
Bahas.
say. Usually these things would not change that far. Yeah, Bha to P. It would be very unusual. And there is a Ritapsu, also another word, whose form is Rita, Ritapsu. I don't know. These are strange things. Bahas. Bha is interesting root because it is the appearance, actually, yes? First meaning, and then shining from here, bhanu, and all these other words. But first thing to equally appear everywhere, yes? To be available or present. Present is a good word, presence. We have another bhash root with sh, sir. Bhas is to shine, bhash is to speak. Speaking and shining are also connected. It's something like you make yourself appear, you make yourself present through speech or through appearance. It's all that. Maybe then psu is of that appearance. But why u? U could be just ending or suffix. It could be. But ps, that to drop a long R from within? Sometimes R drop, it drops, yes, like root tam, for example, tman word is an interesting word. I think it is not from an root to breathe, as the dictionary suggests, it is from tam root to go to become stiff, to become kind of body in itself, yes. And for me, atman as the body, as the self, and for me, atman with prefix a as the self or the body. But from root tam, I believe. Can't be from root an, where tu is coming from. So analyzing the changes in Sanskrit, slowly you get that sense or intuition of some kind that it can't be this. Psu, psa, bhasa, bhasa. Don't know. This is the puzzling word. And it is very rare, actually. Only in these few words, like Arunapsu, and ritapso used. Maybe one day we will recognize what it is. Somewhere we will find intermediate form and we will guess where it comes from. And then, supeshasam sukham ratham yam adhyastha ushasthuvam. You see, we need to deconstruct for the meter. Tuvam. This is a very good work what Harvard University did. I'm taking it from them. Deconstructed forms. Sometimes I disagree with them. I would deconstruct other part than this. Yeah. Tena, but very rare, like 5%. Tena sushrabasam janam prava adya dohitar devah. I put here the padapatha because here pra avadya became one thing. Yeah? Pravadya dohitar devah. And notice sometimes sandhis are needed to keep the meter. And sometimes they break the meter, and that's why we have to undo sandhis. So with your wonderful and glorious chariot, Sukham Ratham Supeshasam, on which you stand, Adhyastha Ushas Tuvam, or dawn today, support or grow Prava, root of Avatumam, yes? Most probably it is from root U, to extend from within, to occupy the inner space, yes? So support or grow within a man born here in the body, that is Janam, Tena Sushravasam Janam, in the body of the man who has the perfect inspirational knowledge, Sushravasam Janam. Prava, support or protect, that's how we translate, protect forward, Prava. Interesting, how to protect forward in time, most probably. Yes? Not only protect now and then another moment comes and you are not protected. Extend your protection forward. Or daughter of heaven, Duhitar Devah. It's a very short hymn, so I thought we will cover it today in one go. Vayashchitte patatrinach dvipad chatushpad arjuni Usha praran ritun anu devo antebhyach pari. Anu devach antebhyach. You see, this deconstruction is needed, antebhyach, otherwise meter is broken. Bright dawn, Arjuni, very rare word, actually used only for dawn, only in this hymn. Arjuna is pale or white or bright. Arjuna, we know Arjuna and Krishna. And now it's Arjuni, feminine, with long E in E, it's vocative. Or bright dawn, from the boundaries of heaven all around. Devo antebhyach pari. You urge, Usha, Praran, birds, animals, and man, Vayashchitte patatrinach dvipat chatushpat, to move according to their proper rhythm of life. Praran, ritun anu, in accordance with the season. You make them move. Praran. It's from root 3. Most probably injunctive. Or rather not injunctive, but participle present tense. No, it is injunctive. It's injunctive. It's not participle present. cannot be, because Usha is feminine gender. It is injunctive, which is a command anyway. All right. So make all these beings move from the ends of the heaven. And who are these beings? These Patatrina, who have wings, Dvipad and Chatushpad. Dvipad and Chatushpad, we spoke about this not once. Sri Aurobindo gives this marvelous interpretation to these two. Usually they are translated Dvipad as man, Chatushpad as animal, but there is something more to it. Dvipad is the two, yes, Jivatma and Antaratman. So the witness about the head and the presence in the heart psychic being. This is Dvipad. And Chatushpad is Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, and Vijnanamaya, 4 levels of development on the evolutionary scale. When the body evolves from the physical to the vital, to the mental, and to the supramental. And that is Chatushpad. Whereas Dvipad is the Jivatma and Antaratma. And that's why it is man. For the man, it is most important, these two, the presence in the heart and above the head. But for the development of the whole nature, Chatushpad is important, yes? So these two views, they actually combine the whole view of evolution. What is evolving? The body is evolving, becoming more and more capable of embodying the spirit, and at the same time the soul is evolving, Dvipad, growing here. So these two fundamentals of the Veda, I always refer to them nowadays to give the holistic view on integral yoga as Dvipad and Chatushpad, two developments, two simultaneously going evolutions, as Sri Aurobindo says. Yeah? A double process of terrestrial evolution is the body develops through genome, passing all the experiences and changes to the children forward, and at the same time, invisible process of soul evolution, yes, which is also taking the body, learning from the body how to be there, something changes in the soul, and then again comes and again. And with this double process, everything moves forward, Dvipad and Chatushpad. And when the birds are mentioned, it's usually some kind of lofty beings or souls or something. Patatrinach and Vayesh, the birds. Or I do not know who else. Maybe some gods or some other lofty creatures. Why the birds always are added to these, sometimes added like here. So she also wakes them up, all those lofty beings in nature. And the last verse of this short hymn, Vi uchanti hi rashmibhich Vishwam abhasi, here the Shudbha, Rochanam, Tam Tvam Ushar, Vasuyavach, Girvih Kanva Ahushata, shining wide with your rays, Viuchanti. You indeed illumine all radiant space of the overmind. Vishwam Abhasi Rochanam. Now I am adding overmind because 3 rochanas are the triple svar. When the word rochana is used, it is never used for vital worlds or even mental worlds. It's usually over mental worlds. And it is totally correct in this case. Vishwamabhasi Rochanam, the whole of the mental realm is illumined by the presence of the Divine Mother. And Kanvarish is desiring that light, Tam Tvam, Ushar, or Usha, Vasuyavach, to be embodied in them. Now, this is my translation of Vasuyavach. Vasuyu is the one who seeks Vasu, who seeks the the luminous dweller within the substance. Sri Aurobindo translates Vasu as luminous dweller within the substance. They're seeking that embodiment of light or growth of light within. Treasures. Vasu is treasure and Vasu is shining being. All the gods are Vasus when they come down into the body to do the sacrifice. Girbhih kanva hushata. So are calling with their voices, girbhih, articulations, mantras, hymns. Gir is actually gl, this glossa, gir, is the voice. And a voice is usually the power of the soul, which articulates the spirit. By that articulation of the spirit, voicing it, so to say, you invoke, you attract the divine presence of the dawn, of the Divine Mother. So that's why we are praying, I guess, because we are articulating that higher consciousness in us, and then it happens. It comes down and we have an experience. It's interesting how through the word we manage to manifest the higher spirit. So here it is. This is the whole hymn. Here I stop. And if you have anything to clarify or want to add your own, please do. We have a small group today. No?
I think this one is pretty simple.
Yeah, absolutely. Very simple. And also, in the simplicity, there is some beauty also, yes? Without any complications, it's straightforward what is wanted. And if the appearance of the dawn abhasi rochanam, if she illumines really the whole overmental realm for us, and we want that light, if it happens, then, as Sri Aurobindo says, the hymns were of the highest utilitarian, form. Rishis didn't think or didn't want to make it too, sophisticated or too much, how to say, ornamentated with some kind of, poetry to make it appealing to the mind. It was perfectly utilitarian approach to get the spirit manifest. So they restricted, he says, they rather restricted their own capacity of the kavis, of the poets, to gain that message through connection to the spirit. This is something interesting to think of, yeah? That not all the poetry has to be very sophisticated in order to be effective for the spiritual purpose.
Do you think that it is important to follow the meter in order for it to be effective? Or what importance does it have in relation to effectiveness?
I will tell you what it does to me, and then you maybe
Mhm.
also. When I really feel the meter, and also deconstruct all that and read it with the accent properly and meter, something happens. It is like it is as if you are speaking. You become part of this process. When you do this recitation with Vedic accent, it is not yours. Yeah? It is not, you are not involved, so to say. Because when you do this meter deconstruction, your breath is changing. Yeah? You're breathing differently. You make a pause. That pause is important because something is happening in that moment. Yes. you take a breath in that moment and you say, add to it, and you feel that flow, that flow with which Rishi composed this, how it came to him. So basically, you are subjectively identified, and you don't need to translate in your mind. With the recitation, you always translate it in the mind, like Agnimihile Purohitam Yajnasya Devam Ritvijam. I have to translate. And if I say Agnim Ile Purohitam Yajnasya Devam Ritvijam Hotaram Ratnadhatamam, I speak from myself. I'm not reciting it for the sake of, then to join the party. I am the party. I am the invoker. When I met the whole group in Pondicherry, they came from Delhi Gurukulam, very famous, huge Gurukulam with their gurus and students, and they were reciting Rigveda. I met with this their guru, and I told him that how I deconstruct for myself to read. He was in tears. He said, "This is how we have to read." He started to feel the power of the chandas and the rishi. It's not only that, when they read the whole Rigveda by heart. Can you imagine reading the whole Rigveda by heart? How insensitive you have to become because each hymn is a revelation and you read revelation after revelation after revelation without any understanding. And I understand why they have to learn without understanding, because they would explode. They would never read more than 2 hymns at a time, but they have to pass the whole text forward to be remembered, because the writing was prohibited. So they sacrificed their lives to carry that knowledge forward, yes, without actually gaining much from it for themselves. It's a great sacrifice. Otherwise, we would never have this text. Not to belittle.
So what was an aid? So to transmit it from generation to generation has become a hindrance
Right.
to really make it resonate fully in the being.
Yes.
Seems.
But the time has come to deconstruct and to read as Rishis read, because everything is preserved perfectly. How do we know that it is perfectly preserved? It's very easy to find out that in each word in Rigveda, I'm speaking only on Rigveda because Taittiriya is already a different story. Each word bears the same accent throughout. This is something. Agnich is everywhere Agnich and never ever Agnich. Yeah? So that means we are dealing with authentic text. They really preserved the Udatta. In Chandas we know, and now we can try to read how Vedic rishis read. I actually did this exercise. I made so many recordings of the hymns to read how rishis read. I was kind of obsessed with this even some time ago. But then I noticed that it is unwanted. But doesn't matter. For me, it is beautiful to even have this idea. For example, let me show you one of these Trishtubhs. I love Trishtubh more than anything because it has this trochaic ending and it's so powerful because of that. Let me open some of the hymns of the 5th mandala. Yes, Angelo, you wanted to say something, no? Something.
No.
Can you imagine millions of Indians and hundreds of generations preserving the text and moving it forward? That must be something, no? can't be just nothing. The whole life from 6 to 25 to 30 years only remembering the text and passing it forward. I will open book 5 now in a minute. If you look in these hymns, I tried many different types, and Trishtup, of course, is my favorite. So here we see Abodhi Agnich. Now I'm deconstructing, you see, Abodhi Agnich. So with the Abodhi Agnich Samidha Jana Anam. Yeah, but I will read deconstruct. Abodhi, also Abodhi Agnich Samidha Jananam. 3 Trishtup. Abodhi Agnich 5. Samidha Jananam Pratidhenum Ivayatim Ushasam Yahvaiva Pravayam Ujjihanach Prabhanavach Sisrate Nakam Acha. Acha word is still here in Hindi also Acha. Abodhi hota yajathaya devan urdhvo agnich sumanach pratar asthat sam idhasya rushat adarshi pajo mahan devas tamaso niramoji. When I read like this, I don't need translation, really. I understand the words. It's amazing. You were asking, what does it do? So Abodhi Agnich, the awaken is the flame, Samidha, by the kindling of those who are born in the body, Jananam. Pratidhenum, and towards the cow, the dawn, Agni as towards the cow, his dawn, Iva, as if, Ayatim, approaching, Ushasam, to the dawn as the cow approaching, he as the calf, running towards her, towards the mother. Yahvaiva pravayamujjihana. And we also woke up in the morning, all these lofty beings or souls or spirits rising up. Prabhanavach sisratina kamacha, like the flames reaching up to heaven, directly to heaven. Abodhi hota yajatha yadevan. Awaken is the hotar, the summoner of the gods, to sacrifice here the gods. Here is awakened. Urdhvo Agni, high up Agni, Sumanach Pratarastach. With perfect mind he arose in the morning, Pratar. Samidhasya, Samidhasya Rushadadarshi Pajo, and his pajas, his stuff is visible, shining from, kindled totally here. Mahandevach, the great god, Tamaso Niramochi, was released from the darkness. The great god was released from the darkness. When you read this type of poetry, I do not know. It creates the power in you of experience which we cannot dream of. So, and believe me, these few verses would be enough for the rest of your life to read one hymn and be ignited and enlightened and whatever. And you don't need to have the whole bulk of texts, pondering about. So, great. Okay, so wish you a Merry Christmas, and we will meet on 26th after the Christmas, right?
Excellent. Merry
Bye.
Christmas.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, namaste. Bye.